Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for making it down to Acme Industrial today here in Staten Island. My name is Chris Barata. I'm with the NFIB, the National Federation of Independent Business. We are the voice of small business, representing over 300,000 members throughout the nation. We're here today for our endorsement of Nicole Malliotakis for Congress. We couldn't be any more pleased to be here, and Nicole has a rock solid track record advocating for small business, and we're happy to have her. Today we're here, we're happy to be here. Today we're here with Joe Martucci. This is Acme Industrial. He's been in business here on Staten Island for over 20 years. He's been a member with the National Federation of Independent Business since 2008. I'm going to make it short and sweet and pass it over to Joe, and we're incredibly happy to have you next to us and to hopefully have you representing us in Congress. We know you're our next Congresswoman. Joe Martucci, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Joe Martucci, president of Acme Industrial. A number of my employees behind me. We're a small business located in Staten Island and have been for a significant amount of time. That's why it's so important and to get with Nicole here, and she's going to be, as she has been for many years, an advocate for the small businesses. Some of the critical for local businesses, the property taxes in New York City and especially in Staten Island have been escalating, and she's been an advocate to reverse that trend, which is great, and we appreciate that. She's been a small business advocate on many other issues. One of the big ones for businesses here in Staten Island, we're on an island. Every place we go, we have to pay a toll. So that's one of the big things that she's been an advocate for, and we couldn't be happier. So thank you very much on that. And all the other stuff that she votes as an assemblywoman has been impeccable. You know, as we've said before, she's an advocate, and we need more people like that and like her in Congress, in DC, as well as, you know, filling her position up here once she's in DC. Most important, you know, get out and vote for Nicole. Like I said, we need more people like her, and that's why Acme's endorsing her as a small business here in Staten Island. Next, I'd like to introduce Anthony Girardi, owner and Partners in Sound and Pro Show Productions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Girardi. Yes, the DJ voice. Proud owner and partner of Partners in Sound Productions, Pro Show Productions. I am also the president and founder of the... My business was started in 1990. This year, we would be celebrating our 30th year in business. Born and raised on Staten Island, and unfortunately the only thing we're celebrating right now is the opportunity to keep the lights on and the doors open. It's been a really difficult road. We're 3,000 events a year, performing at corporate and social events, and we're lucky if we're going to do 100 events this year. We have a full-time staff of over 20 employees. Right now, we're down to 2 people working in the office, and most of those phone calls are events being canceled, luckily postponed until next year. On any busy weekend, we have over 100 plus staff, part-time workers, and subcontractors producing events, and unfortunately, they are all out of work. My event industry employs over 12 million people in the United States. We are one of the largest industries, and people have no idea what we do. The revenue from the live events industry is close to $500 billion a year. And unfortunately, we just do not have the right people in Congress, on a federal level, on a local level, representing us. Our voices since March have gone unheard. We've put together campaigns, we've done rallies in Times Square, basically calling upon our senators and our Congress to provide us with the funding and the relief that we need to stay in business. We understand the virus is real. I was sick, I had it. I was in the hospital. So I'm not downplaying the virus, but if you are not going to let us open up and go back to business as Americans and a company that's been in the U.S., we have 5 locations up and down the East Coast. So we're not just a small operation. We put many people to work, many families to work, and the federal government is not listening to us. So Nicole, I appreciate everything that you're doing. We need a voice. We need someone that's going to listen to us, that's going to listen to small businesses, and to help us survive until we can go back to work. So on behalf of Partners in Sound and Pro Show Productions, we fully endorse Nicole Malliotakis. And you have just 50 days. I don't know how many days is left until the election, but we stand next to you, we support you, and we hope that you can make a difference for all the small businesses and our families. So thank you.
Thank you everyone for being here today. I want to thank the National Federation of Independent Business for their endorsement, for their support, and for their belief in me. I am the proud daughter of small business owners, and I know what it's like. And I know the struggles and the difficulties and the challenges. I understand how government impacts the everyday aspects of people's lives, and whether it be the economy, whether it be public safety issues that are driving people out of the state and the city, whether it be the burdenous regulations, taxes. I'm proud to be on the right side of those issues and fighting to keep our families, employees, and businesses here. You know, when I first decided to run for Congress, I felt that this election was really about whether we are going to preserve the American dream, its limitless potential and opportunity for people like Anthony and Joe and other small business owners to pursue their dreams, or whether we're going to move down a path of socialism. And now, 50 days before the election, less than 50 days before the election, it's more evident than ever that that is what this election is about. We have individuals in Congress right now that have said, I'll read a quote from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, "To me, capitalism is irredeemable." Ilhan Omar, who called for the dismantling of the U.S. economy. We have 3 out of 4 Socialist Squad members sitting on the Financial Services Committee in the city that is an economic engine for the entire nation. And what they're trying to do is destroy the American dream, make it difficult for businesses to survive. And we have to push back and fight back and support policies that will help our economy be restored, that will bring back the American jobs lost during COVID, and help businesses, all businesses, these job creators, the employers, survive and thrive, and encourage others, future generations, to pursue the American dream and think about being entrepreneurs. Now, during my time in the Assembly, I've been very proud of having a pro-growth, pro-business record, pro-jobs record. And whether it be working with my colleagues, delivering the lowest corporate tax rate in decades, successfully fighting the elimination of a MTA payroll tax that hurt small businesses like these, eliminating the sales tax on clothing permanently for under those items under $110, voting against burdenous regulations that just require more and more paperwork, draining their time, draining their money and resources, voting against taxes over 350 times, leading the fight, ensure that we have a fair property tax system, and the fight against the high property taxes and the burdens that we've been seeing under Mayor Bill de Blasio that have just increased the cost of doing businesses, increased the cost of rents, and make New York City less affordable. Fighting tolls. I have a record from the very first day, as you mentioned, I appreciate you acknowledging my efforts, of fighting against tolls, and collectively as a community, whether it was with the small business community, actually many members of the local Chamber of Commerce, that fought for the toll discounts that we have. And since 2012, the toll on Staten Island going over the Verrazano Bridge has not gone up. And there was a commercial discount as well, as you mentioned. And I was proud to be a very vocal and vociferous advocate for that. And we have to ensure that our friends on the Brooklyn side of the bridge get the same respect. And unfortunately, we don't have the coalition in Brooklyn that we had here, where in 2012, all the elected officials, community boards, civic groups, business groups, all spoke with one voice. There's a difference of opinion on the Brooklyn side. Those who are not in southern Brooklyn don't feel as the way we do, and probably don't have the same burden as we do in the southern part of Brooklyn. And so that's why there has not been a similar relief on that side, but we continue to fight. And then, of course, now, during the COVID recovery, ensuring that we get these industries back to work. We want to do it safely. We want to do it wisely, but we need to start getting people back to work before we see businesses closing for good and leaving our state. Examples, very early on, after we had flattened the curve, I fought very diligently to get outdoor work when it showed that outdoor work can take place safely, construction work, outdoor work, then getting the dentists, the realtors back to work and helping them. And now we're on a fight with for the restaurants to make sure that our restaurants can reopen their indoor dining. And many of you know that I've been working closely with the restaurant industry and local attorneys and some of my colleagues to ensure that we can get some form of indoor dining. And interestingly enough, 2 days after we filed a lawsuit against the mayor and the governor announced that they will have 25% indoor capacity beginning September 30th, but we need more than that. We want to be treated the same as every other municipality in the state at 50%, and I believe that, I know we're gonna continue that fight, and I believe that they eventually will come around, but time is of the essence, because we're gonna start seeing restaurants that we love and that really are the vibrancy of our community close, and we can't have that. And as Anthony mentioned, there are other industries that are hurting. We have to look for ways to get them back to work. We want to do it safely. We want to do it wisely. As the president said, there may be a vaccination soon, and that will certainly help. But I'm very proud of also the work that I did this past year in helping President Trump garner support for the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. In many ways, I was the New York City elected official that he had worked with most on this, the White House had worked with, to garner support, because none of the members of our federal delegation from New York City would talk to him. In fact, they all signed a letter, including my opponent, Max, signed a letter that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had circulated, trying to derail the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. I'm proud to have played a part in garnering support from organizations and also from my colleagues in the state legislature for the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, and actually be present when President Trump signed that historic deal. So I want to make sure that we're continuing this work to renegotiate trade deals that support American workers, bring more American jobs, and we have to look at, as Anthony said, more forgivable small business loans. We want to extend the child tax credit. We want to make opportunity zone credits that have generated billions in poorer communities across America permanent. We need more pro-growth policies that encourage innovation, that make it easier for entrepreneurs to achieve the American dream. We must reconsider American companies' dependence on international supply chains. We want to make sure that patents, inventions, productions, that they are made here in the United States, and if they are developed overseas, that we have a tax system that is not an obstacle in bringing these home, and we can't allow the government to be the one that makes that cost prohibitive. So that's what I will be pushing for. I think it's very important that we have a House of Representatives that is not dictated by Nancy Pelosi and socialist members. The Socialist Squad has developed too much power, and they are against everything that I've just stated and I stand for. And so it's critically important for the U.S. economy to come back to pre-COVID levels, to restore those American jobs lost, that we pay attention in this election and get out to vote. I want to thank you once again. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. We want to see more people have good, reliable jobs, good employers like Acme. We want to encourage people to support their small businesses all around, particularly our restaurants right now that are struggling. And we have to continue to find ways to help businesses like Anthony's, that the Partners in Sound, who are struggling right now, and they do need support if they are going to be mandated to continue to be closed. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the support today.